You know that feeling when you walk into a room and everybody stops talking? That's the power of the right watch. In 2025, the game has completely shifted. We're not talking about your grandfather's Omega anymore. These are the timepieces that make billionaires lose sleep and watch collectors mortgage their homes. Let me tell you something real quick. I've been in this luxury watch space for 7 years, and I've never seen anything like what's happening right now. The market is absolutely bonkers. Watches that cost $30,000 2 years ago are now selling for 6 figures. And the pieces on today's list? They're not just watches, they're liquid assets, conversation starters, and straight-up flex machines rolled into one. In today's video, we'll be taking a look at the top 7 luxury watches that are the most wanted for men. Number 1 is absolutely mind-blowing, so make sure to watch to the end. Number 7. Audemars Piguet Royal Oak Offshore Diver. Starting strong with something that's been making waves since its release. The Royal Oak Offshore Diver isn't just another dive watch. This is AP saying, we can make a sports watch that costs more than your car and you'll still want it. And they're absolutely right. This beast comes in at around $35,000 retail, but good luck finding one at that price. The secondary market has these going for $45,000 to $55,000 easy. Why? Because AP only makes about 40,000 watches total per year. Total. Rolex makes that many in a week. The case is 42 millimeters of pure octagonal perfection. That signature AP bracelet integration is cleaner than a fresh pair of Jordans. And when the light hits that mega tapisserie dial pattern, it's like watching sunlight dance on water. John Mayer has been spotted with multiple versions of this piece, and when someone who collects Pateks like baseball cards chooses your watch, you know it hits different. The diving bezel rotates with this satisfying click that sounds expensive. And that orange accent on the diving scale? That's not just color theory, that's psychology. Your brain associates that pop of orange with energy, excitement, and premium quality. Apple didn't choose orange for their top-tier iPhone cases by accident. Number 6. Omega Speedmaster Professional Moonwatch. Hold up before you say this is too basic. The Speedmaster Professional isn't just riding on NASA nostalgia anymore. Omega has been cooking, and the updates they've made to this classic have watch nerds losing their minds. The new caliber 3861 movement is hand-wound mechanical poetry. When you wind this watch every morning, you're not just setting the time. You're participating in a ritual that connects you to every astronaut who's ever worn this piece in space. Neil Armstrong, Buzz Aldrin, the entire Apollo program. This watch has been to the moon and back, literally. What makes this piece special in 2025 is how Omega has refined everything without losing the soul. The Hesalite crystal still gets those beautiful micro-scratches that tell your story. The black dial is still that deep, space-like void that seems to absorb light. But now the movement is master chronometer certified, meaning it can handle magnetic fields that would shut down most other watches. Ryan Gosling wore this in First Man because it's the only watch that made sense for Neil Armstrong. When Hollywood needs authenticity, they don't reach for a Submariner, they reach for the Speedy, and at around $6,500, this is the most accessible piece on our list. But don't sleep on it. Good examples are already appreciating, and clean vintage pieces are selling for serious money. Number 5. Patek Philippe Nautilus 5711/1A. This is where things get spicy. The Nautilus 5711 is the watch that broke the internet when Patek announced they were discontinuing it in 2021. The aftermarket went absolutely insane. We're talking $150,000 to $200,000 for a steel watch that retailed for $34,890. Let that sink in. But here's the thing that most people don't understand about the Nautilus. This isn't just expensive because it's rare. This is expensive because Gerald Genta created something that shouldn't work, but absolutely does. A luxury steel sports watch inspired by a ship's porthole that somehow became the ultimate status symbol. The integrated bracelet flows into the case like water. The dial has this horizontal embossed pattern that changes with the light. And that blue? That's not just any blue. That's a blue that makes the ocean jealous. Jay-Z has been spotted with multiple Nautilus pieces, and when someone worth $1 billion chooses your watch, that's not an accident. The thing about Patek Philippe is they don't just make watches, they make heirlooms. That marketing slogan, "You never actually own a Patek Philippe, you merely look after it for the next generation," isn't just clever copywriting, it's reality. These watches outlive their owners and still run perfectly decades later. Number 4. Rolex Daytona Ceramic. The Rolex Daytona is the watch that makes grown men act irrationally, and with the new ceramic bezels, Rolex has created something that's basically impossible to get at retail, but absolutely essential for any serious collection. The ceramic bezel changed everything. It's scratch-resistant, fade-resistant, and has this deep, rich color that makes the old aluminum bezels look cheap. The white gold version with the black ceramic bezel is particularly fire. It's subtle enough that most people won't recognize it immediately, but watch people know. And when watch people know, you've won. What makes the Daytona special is that it's a racing chronograph that actually works. Those 3 subdials aren't just for show. The tachymeter bezel isn't just pretty. This watch was designed to time racing laps, and it still does that job better than almost anything else on the market. Paul Newman's personal Daytona sold for $17.8 million at auction. $17.8 million for a watch. That's not just collecting, that's investing in horological history. And while your ceramic Daytona won't hit those numbers, current market prices are sitting pretty at $35,000 to $45,000 for pieces that retail around $14,000, if you can get one. The waiting lists at authorized dealers are measured in years, not months. Some people put their names down and hear nothing for a decade. But when that call comes, when your AD says they have a Daytona with your name on it, that's a life-changing moment for watch collectors. Number 3. Richard Mille RM011. Richard Mille watches look like they fell out of a spaceship, and that's exactly the point. The RM011 is what happens when you take traditional watchmaking and inject it with Formula One technology and space-age materials. The tonneau-shaped case is carved from a single block of titanium or carbon fiber. The movement is skeletonized so you can see every gear, every wheel, every component working in perfect harmony. This isn't just a watch, it's a mechanical theater on your wrist. But here's what really sets Richard Mille apart. These watches are virtually indestructible. Rafael Nadal wears his RM027 during tennis matches. During actual professional tennis matches where he's hitting balls at 120 miles per hour and the G-forces on his wrist are insane. The watch doesn't just survive, it keeps perfect time. The RM011 features an annual calendar, flyback chronograph, and dual time zone. That's serious complications in a package that weighs less than most fitness trackers. And the price? We're looking at $180,000 to $220,000 depending on the materials. That's supercar money for something you wear on your wrist. Drake has multiple Richard Mille pieces, including some custom versions that cost more than most people's houses. When someone who can afford literally any watch chooses RM, that tells you everything about the brand's positioning in 2025. Number 2. Vacheron Constantin Overseas. Vacheron Constantin is the oldest continuously operating watch manufacturer in the world. They've been making watches since 1755. That's before America was even America. And the Overseas is their modern masterpiece that proves centuries of experience never goes out of style. The Overseas comes with 3 different straps and bracelets that you can change without tools. Rubber for sports, leather for business, steel bracelet for everything else. It's like having 3 different watches in one package. But the real magic is in the details. The Maltese cross-hour markers aren't just decoration. They're a signature Vacheron Constantin element that dates back centuries. The guilloche dial work is done by hand using techniques that haven't changed in 200 years. This is artisanal craftsmanship at the highest level. The movement is the caliber 5100, which is thin, reliable, and beautiful to look at through the exhibition caseback. The rotor is 22 karat gold and shaped like the Maltese cross. Even the parts you can't see are finished to perfection because that's just how Vacheron Constantin operates. At around $25,000, the Overseas represents serious value in the luxury watch world. You're getting a manufacturing movement, impeccable finishing, and the prestige of one of the holy trinity of Swiss watchmaking. Vacheron Constantin, Audemars Piguet, and Patek Philippe. That's it. That's the Mount Rushmore of luxury watches. Number 1. Rolex Submariner Date. The number 1 spot goes to the watch that started it all. The Rolex Submariner Date isn't just the most wanted luxury watch for men in 2025, it's the most wanted luxury watch period. Full stop. End of discussion. This is the watch that created the luxury sports watch category. Before the Submariner, watches were tools or dress pieces. The Submariner proved that something could be both functional and luxurious. It could go 300 meters underwater and look perfect with a tuxedo. The current generation Submariner date features the new caliber 3235 movement with 70 hours of power reserve. The case has been slightly enlarged to 41 millimeters, which is perfect for modern wrists. The Serichrome bezel insert is virtually scratch-proof and will look new decades from now. But here's what really makes the Submariner special. It's instantly recognizable. That silhouette, those proportions, that Mercedes hand design. You can spot a Submariner from across the room. And when people see it, they know exactly what you're wearing and what it represents. LeBron James wears a Submariner. So does Robert Downey Jr. Steve McQueen made it famous in movies, and it's been the go-to watch for everyone from Navy SEALs to Wall Street executives ever since. The retail price is $9,150. But good luck finding one at retail. The secondary market has these going for $12,000 to $15,000 easy. For a production watch that Rolex makes thousands of every year. That's the power of demand exceeding supply, and it shows no signs of slowing down. The Submariner represents everything that luxury watches are about in 2025. Heritage, craftsmanship, status, and investment potential all wrapped up in a package that works just as well in the boardroom as it does underwater. Which one of these watches made your heart skip a beat? Drop a comment and let me know which piece you're saving up for. And if you're serious about getting into luxury watches or upgrading your current collection, hit that subscribe button because I drop knowledge about the watch game every single week. The next video is going to be about the biggest mistakes people make when buying their first luxury watch, and trust me, you don't want to miss it. The watch game waits for nobody. Make your move.